Scientific. My hand kissed it. Robotic. Let's think optimistic. You probably missed it. Watch me dolly dig it. Scotty Waddy copped it to me. Big microphone hippie. Hippa kiss me. Crispy chicken burst. Wept up with stone with me. Chop the O. Sprinkle a little dough and snow inside the Optimo. Swing the John McEnroe. Rap rock and roll, tidy bow, gung ho pro, Starsky with the gum soul, hit the rum slow, parole kids, live Rapunzel, but tone stizzy really high. The vivid laser eye guy jumped in the Harley ride, Clark's I freak him lemon pie, I'm bout it. Lord forgive me, Miss Sally shouted, Tracy got shot in the face, my house is overcrowded. You fake cats done heard it first. Oh, how I shitted on your turf that time. Cuban link verse, yo. Check out the rap kingpin. Summertime fine jewelry dripping, face in the box. I seen your ear twitching. As soon as I drove off, Cap came to me with 3 sawed-offs. Give one to Ray. Let's season they broth. Lightning rod fever heater. Knock nigga Sheba for Heba. Fever got rocked from the receiver bleeder. Portfolio. Looking fancy in the prancy. Forgive me. Looking fancy in the pantry. My man got bigger dime, son. Your shit is scampy. Base that. Throw the chicken mouth, don't say that. Sea ghost lamping at the throne and King's Tut's hat. Straight off. God damn, Nutmeg goes so hard, bruh. That Supreme Clientele album, which is where those flows is from, is one of the greatest Wu albums ever released. It still stands the test of time. And it turns out, when I went to go see him perform this album in concert, kind of around my way where I stay right now, I saw a young group called Lake Effects, and a buddy of me and Anthony's turns out was in that group, but I didn't know him at the time, or that he was in that group. And then I told him I was at that show, and who performed, and he was like, "Yeah, that's me." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" But it was a time, man. It was a time. But hello, and welcome to it. Today's Crunchy Milk. It's episode 411, and we got the information. I'm joined by my best friends. It's Tatum 216.
Hello.
It's Lunchbox 2099.
Call me Catman Crothers.
And that's the homeboy, the real ODP.
I studied under Bruce Lee. He was on the 4, and I was on the 3.
That's what's up, man. Well, yeah, that's how you studied under him. I was like, yeah. God damn, that song is so good. They was talking about, I was listening to Wind Up His Life, and they was talking about that Killer Bees album. Y'all remember that? Like the Wu-Tang presents The Swarm?
Yes.
That's what the name of that album was?
I don't think I heard the whole thing, but I do remember the album existing.
Yeah, so there's a Ghostface song on there that the dudes was like, they swore by it. It was like, yo, I remember that song, and it is dope, but my favorite song off there is 97 Mentality. So that's where that one sticks for me. But that got me in my Ghostface bag yesterday. And that's how we arrived at Nutmeg Lyrics today, if you were wondering how this walks the walk.
I remember in my life when I used to get excited for artists having new albums out.
Oh, that's a classic album. That's like the.
But I'm just saying, like that feeling you get when like someone you like has like a album coming, and it's like I don't get that anymore. Now it's like when someone has a new album out, I don't find out for a couple years.
You like what you like, and every now and again something will sneak past, and you'll be like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like in my life, I don't like seek out new music like I used to back in the day. You know, so I'm kind of like I'm definitely old man set in my ways now.
Same here.
Actually, very excited about this Lil Nas X album finally coming out, because dude's good, man. So I'm kind of excited to see what he ends up doing with his full first drop. It comes out tonight as we record this, so I will give that a spin at some point tomorrow.
Wait, did you say his first full drop?
This is his first full length album. He's had singles, he's had an EP, but this is his first official LP coming out.
Okay, so is this the album that's gonna have like the controversial Blood Shoe song on it and shit like that?
Blood Shoe song. I didn't know he was making a song about that shoes, but whatever.
Well, no, I mean, but that's what they were from, right? Like
the Satan shoes.
The shoe was just a separate entity.
Yeah.
Oh,
unless you're talking about.
I thought in the music video he was dressed up as Satan, so I thought that was like part of the whole thing.
In one of the movie videos, yes, he was. So maybe that video in those shoes.
Yeah, call me when you want, whatever that song is. Yeah, he was dressed up as Satan in that video, which is what the shoes were inspired by.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about beating her, and these are blood shoes. So
Oh
those are
no, yeah, the whole like vial of his blood inside the shoe or whatever. Because then Tony Hawk ended up doing the same thing with skateboards. Tony Hawk like took some blood and like put it into paint, and they painted it, and like it was like a limited edition thing. So then he caught hell for it because like people were giving Lil Nas X shit for the shoes. So then they linked up, you know.
Oh, so from what I heard about the story I heard from that was people was mad that nobody was giving Tony Hawk shit about it,
Yes.
but they
Yeah,
shit
okay.
all over Lil Nas X.
You are correct. I said it incorrectly.
Yeah.
I guess like Lil Nas X was kind of like, why are you shitting on me but not Tony Hawk?
Oh, because we know why, but I think that's him more saying, "Oh, we know why." But that's an old school thing. A podcast we used to
Kiss.
tell them Steve Dave did that when they did a record some years back and they did a drop of their blood in the record. Kiss did that years ago. This is not new. This is just people hating that boy for being gay. And it's like, you got to get over it. He's gay.
I think Tristan Thompson should come out with a shoe and put some of his skeet juice in it.
Oh man.
Man.
That dude been in the league for way too long. I think the only person that's been in the league that long that might get a shoe is PJ Tucker.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that
but-
should come from like China.
Oh,
For PJ
wow.
Tucker?
Yeah, he'll get some Air Taiwans or something.
No, PJ Tucker is like it's a no. Like PJ Tucker is like the biggest sneakerhead in the league.
But you're
And,
talking
like,
about
he-
him getting his own shoe, right?
Yeah.
But you got to be good for that kind of shit. He's just some like old ass role player.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like between him and Tristan Thompson, it's like both old role players at this point in their careers.
Yeah, but like PJ Tucker's almost a whole decade older than Tristan Thompson.
But PJ Tucker is known to be a sneakerhead and like getting exclusive stuff. Never mind that.
You guys are over-examining you're over-examining my joke. It was a solid joke, and you're overthinking it.
Neither one of us is overthinking anything. Your joke was
Just a little skeet in the heel.
quite adequate.
I was just trying to belittle PJ Tucker's NBA career, even though he just won a championship.
Oh,
I mean-
I'll belittle no one's championship career.
When you go out there and you get like 2 rebounds and 0 points a game, I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah, but that league minimum is working for him in ways that it would never work for us.
That's the fucked up thing. He wouldn't even get the minimum. He's getting like $10 million a year. Cause like he's got this like, oh, he plays defense kind of tag to him. So like people just keep giving him money.
Well, and with that money, he's buying $30,000 pair of Nikes, and then from that he gets free ones, more free ones than he should.
Like the whole sneaker app thing is like kind of opened my eyes to just how expensive a lot of these shoes are. But like a $30,000 pair of shoes, what's the realistic like appreciation on something like that? Like, is there like a cap? Is there like a limit, or like if you hold on to that shit for like another 10 years, is it gonna be like 60,000? Like, what's the market here on that?
Well, those particular shoes that are worth that much have diamonds and gold on them, so there's probably not no depreciation on them.
If anything, they appreciate because of volume.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. Appreciate.
Yeah.
Because I want to know if like if like you hold on to those shoes, like if they're like, and not necessarily those pair in particular, but like some like shoes, when you hear how much they cost, you go in your mind like they can't get much higher than that. But like maybe they can. Like I don't know. Like are there some like rare ass shoes from the '90s that were expensive 10 years ago, or even more rare now?
Yeah, most likely. Like it's like these one pair of shoes that it's this video going around with Soulja Boy like, I ain't paying $100,000 for a pair of shoes, and it's a pair of Jordans where they messed up in a factory, and the check is upside down, so they can be. I think the highest a pair sold for was $76,000.
I wonder how you make a mistake of that magnitude. Like I said, those are sewn by hand. You had to really just be fucking up that day. You know what I'm saying? He just had a bad day at the office.
They always say don't look at look inside of the car door and make sure the car door ain't the car wasn't put together on a Monday.
Oh my God, it's a wild one out here. But we ain't all been together for a little bit here, so this the link up. But you know how I do when we do a remote show. Toss you a couple stories. We gotta talk.
Drinking a couple beers.
I actually did not get any alcohol to pop this time. I'm sipping on an AHA citrus. What is that? Citrus green tea. Yeah. And talk some shit. This man with assholes and leave. We had such a look. We got Michelle's wedding official with the show last week. That bitch was 1 hour and 39 minutes. I was very impressed. So let's carry forth the theme. Let's get it going. First story. It's from the good people over at Cleveland.com, and this is Cameron Fields. And get prepared to try to punch up this headline.
All right.
You got some competition because Ant came through last week and dropped some gems on him. Northeast Ohio will welcome more than 400 Afghan evacuees through State Department's Afghan Placement and Assistance Program. That's your headline.
All right.
Okay.
I hear what Ant's going to say.
I don't gotta go first. I'm the champion.
Oh, okay. Cleveland's still doing cool shit all these years later. I'm gonna let that one go.
Okay. Or I will put. People in Parma have another Brown to hate.
Oh my God.
That's hard to beat. Aladdin's looking forward to more sales. No?
I don't know if Aladdin serves Afghanis. I don't know if they eat the same thing. That just seems racist. That was terrible. Well, now I'm kind of upset at you.
You were kind of upset with me with the other joke too. What am I supposed to do here? I've been off a week. I got some ring rust on me.
Dan, any thing you want to speak on that?
I like Aladdin.
After the locusts leave, more unwelcome guests come.
That's a punch up. That seems like a punch down. All right, Gabe.
I thought we were going with how we felt.
Box beat you. He disappointed me more than you did.
Oh, good.
Cleveland, Ohio. The federal government has notified Ohio that it will receive 855 evacuees from Afghanistan, with 435 of those evacuees heading to Northeast Ohio. The Afghan evacuees are being relocated through the U.S. Department of State's Afghan Placement and Assistance APA program, according to a news release from Ohio Governor Mike DeWine's office. International Institute of Akron is receiving 150 evacuees, and U.S. Together in Cleveland is receiving 85. Catholic Charities Migration and Refugee Services and U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants, both based in Cleveland, are each receiving 100, according to the release. The first group of Afghan refugees totals 37,000 nationwide. According to the release, placements across Ohio are expected to happen over the next 6 months. These are individuals who have been partners with the United States and deserve our support in return for their support they've given us, DeWine said in the release. Thank you to the resettlement agencies and communities who have stepped forward and demonstrated they have the resources necessary to help the individuals in their time of need. The Afghan Placement and Assistance Program is meant to help Afghans with relocation services as they arrive in America. Forgive me. The federal government is screening and vetting people in the program. Program participants have not yet received a refugee status or special immigrant visa, but they are coming to the country under humanitarian parole, which is used to bring someone who is otherwise inadmissible into the United States for a temporary period of time due to an emergency, according to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. More than 30 Afghan refugees arrived in Cleveland in late August. Global Cleveland President Joe Sipperman said that he believes the city is ready to welcome and support them. We have room, we have infrastructure, we have jobs, we have housing, Sipperman said last month. We have
just
the space.
Just letting all these hoes in.
We have the space in order to welcome people from all over the world, and why wouldn't we do that? Do the right thing, take advantage of our advantages to do that. Tens of thousands of people fled Afghanistan as the Taliban retook control of the country in the middle of August while U.S. military forces were in the midst of their withdrawal. The U.S. completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan on August 30th after 20 years in the country, marking America's longest war. The withdrawal did not come without incidents, as 13 U.S. service members and more than 150 Afghans were killed in an August 26 terror attack at the Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul. So, it's dope. I'm glad these people have found a home in
now the Catholic group is not just taking.
I'm sorry.
The Catholic group is not just taking kids, are they?
Okay, I got that off. Okay.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay.
I think he took it back there.
Next story. A Florida chiropractor signed hundreds of mask exemption forms for students. Now the district has tightened its mask policy.
All right.
I'll be honest, I wasn't listening. I was still thinking about that other shit.
And you said that was Florida, right?
Send me back! Send me back! Father, why is your robe open?
Florida doctor gives out more than just opioids.
Oh, shit.
Doctor with no business doing something does it anyway because of Florida.
My body, my choice. I didn't hear the headline. I just felt it would probably fit.
I think you could put that for a lot of different. I think you should just throw that out just to see where it lands for every article.
So, a Florida chiropractor signed hundreds of mask exemptions forms for students. Now the district has tightened its mask policy. Stop calling chiropractors doctors because they be signing exemptions forms for students is what I would say is my punch up. This is about Randy K. and Aya Ilamarusi over at CNN.
I was going to make fun of chiropractors too, but I go to one.
We could throw out just some chiropractor one-liners.
Oh man, I love watching those chiropractor videos on TikTok where like the doctor be cracking like the backs of like big bootied women.
That's on TikTok?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a whole genre of it.
A school district in Sarasota, Florida has tightened its mask policy after a chiropractor signed hundreds of medical exemption forms that allowed students to opt out of wearing masks in schools, officials said. The Sarasota County School Board had voted in August to implement a 90-day mandatory mask policies for students, employees, visitors, and vendors, with exceptions for medical reasons or if wearing a face mask would not be consistent with a student's individualized education plan. Then, on September 1st, the district updated its policy to only accept medical exemption forms from licensed medical doctors, osteopathic physicians, or advanced registered nurse practitioners, Superintendent Brennan Asplin said in a letter to families and employees. The decision was due in part to a chiropractor who signed hundreds of medical forms exempting students from their mask mandate.
Hundreds.
A district official told CNN, chiropractors are not medical doctors. I'm going to read that to you again. I'm going to hope you put it in your brain and have that with you for the rest of your days. Chiropractors are not medical doctors. The school district has rejected about 650 medical exemption forms, the majority of which were signed by David Bausch, a chiropractor at Twin Palms Chiropractic in Venice, it said. Bush has defended signing the forms, he told CNN affiliate WWSB. Every evaluation that I performed was very specific, and I performed them in the scope of my practice, Bush said last month. I had to stay very specific to the diagnoses that were in my wheelhouse. There are plenty that weren't. Bush's lawyer on Tuesday told CNN Bush had no comment.
Yes, I hope they die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Asked a day later by CNN about the exemption forms and whether he had examined every child for whom he signed one, Bush said, "This wasn't about me. This is about parents' freedom."
What?
CNN later reached out to Bush's lawyer, who said Bush had no comment. Mask mandates in schools have been a polarizing issue across the country as millions of students have returned to the classroom amid the prevalence of the Delta variant of the coronavirus, which is more contagious and may cause more severe illness than earlier strains. And the topic.
One of the things that they're not talking about is that you don't. One of the main side effects, which is a fever, you don't get it with the Delta variant.
Oh
And
shit!
the topic is red hot in Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis has sparred with local officials who want to impose mask mandates in schools. DeSantis in July signed an executive order directing the state education and health departments to issue emergency rules that give parents the choice of whether their child wears masks in class. The state threatened to withhold funding from districts that violated DeSantis' order. Amid legal challenges, a judge in Florida's first district ruled Friday in favor of an emergency appeal from DeSantis, blocking local schools' masking requirements for now, court documents showed.
I got a new headline. Florida parents against pizza, Lunchables, and masks.
Sarasota County has a high level of COVID-19 transmission according to U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. People living in areas with substantial or high rates of transmission should wear masks indoors, even if vaccinated, CDC guidelines say. Parents split on masks in school. Before Sarasota County changed its mask policy, parents had lined up outside of Bush's office awaiting his signature on their mask exemption forms. Caitlin Sparks was one parent who attempted to get an opt-out form signed by Bush. I think it's great because many doctors are refusing to sign it. And this is one doctor that is actually volunteering his time, no pay, to sign all these forms, Sparks told CNN affiliate WFLA. I think it's ridiculous to have to wear a mask for 8 hours a day. Meanwhile, Jules Scholes, whose daughter is in kindergarten in Sarasota County, believes Bush's behavior puts many people at risk, she told CNN. I think he's not only putting students and children at risk, but he's also putting the students and children that go to school with them at risk. And additionally, the community here in Sarasota, Scholes said, the point of masking is to wear your mask to protect me. I wear my mask to protect you. And so once we start getting away from that, it really becomes a concern not only for the classroom, for the teachers though, and then also for healthcare workers, Scholes added. Again, I want to point out to you that a chiropractor is not a medical doctor. So when this woman, what's her name again? Let's get her name. Caitlin Sparks says, here's a doctor that's actually volunteering his time. Shockingly, she is incorrect because a chiropractor is not a medical doctor.
But he gave me this cream that I rub into my penis to make it bigger.
It's a salve.
Every time I think about that, I think about when I was young and I didn't know no better. And I think I was on the Score website, and Minka said that no, I don't have a breast augmentation. I rub a special cream into my breast, and I was just like, that's some good ass cream.
I am not amused by this story because I think it's shit's fucked up. But my kids are in marching band and we're supposed to have a home game tomorrow, and that game got canceled because our team we were going to play against doesn't have enough players because the school that it's in had a COVID outbreak.
No,
and so it's like this shit is going down and I don't. These motherfuckers want to be my body, my choice when it comes to this shit, but nothing else. It's like
That's
most dumb shit. It makes me insane. But it's cool. Fuck them. It's like I hate to be that guy, and I wish nothing. But I wish nothing. I don't wish ill upon anybody. But Vanessa just had a friend pass away from COVID, who we're unsure if he was vaccinated, so I can't call it, but. Like, that shit sucks, bro. And I don't understand why people don't seem to. They just don't want to. It's like they don't want to believe it. They have decided that fuck it. Why believe it? But I can't be fighting about COVID all the time. I can just give you a couple of stories to think on, and that's what I'm gonna do. Next story. This is from the BBC World News. Yeah, I kind of expanded our search for news of situations today because I was like, man, I have not listened to or looked at world news in forever. What's weird about BBC World News is they don't do bylines. We did that shit. They all did it. So, U.S. man, it's a story about the United States that I've seen nowhere else, but here it is in the BBC World News. I want to point that out to you as well. America just don't be playing. U.S. man files $1 million lawsuit after Michigan teacher cuts child's hair.
Oh,
the father
shit.
of a, the father of a 7-year-old girl whose hair was cut by a teacher without parental permission is suing the school district and 2 staff members for $1 million. Jimmy Hoffmeyer's lawsuit says the constitutional rights of his mixed-race daughter have been violated. He has pulled his daughter out of the school. An investigation by the school district concluded in July that while the teacher had broken school policy, she had not acted with racial bias. She was reprimanded but allowed to keep her job at Gaynard Elementary School in Mount Pleasant. Jimmy Hoffmeyer told the Associated Press last April that his daughter Journey had returned home from school one day with much of her hair on one side of her hair cut. A classmate had used scissors to cut Journey's long curly hair on a school bus, he said. 2 days later, Journey returned home from school with the hair on the other side of her head cut, even though she had been taken to a hairdresser who had given her an asymmetrical cut to make the different lengths less obvious. Mr. Hoffmeyer said he thought that another child had done it, but Journey told him it was a teacher. The teacher cut her hair to even it out, he told the AP.
What the fuck?
The lawsuit was filed in federal court in West Michigan against Mount Pleasant Public Schools and 2 teaching staff. MLive.com reports. As well as violating the child's constitutional rights, the lawsuit also alleges racial discrimination, ethnic intimidation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and assault and battery. The district failed to properly train, monitor, direct, discipline, and supervise the employees and knew or should have known that the employees would engage in the complaint of behavior, given the improper training, customs, procedures, and policies, and the lack of discipline that existed for employees, the lawsuit says. No formal response has been filed by the defendants, and there has been no public comment from the school district.
Okay, so this headline, man severely overestimates the amount of money a school district has.
Okay, I think I might have one. No clean drinking water, but plenty of haircuts available in Michigan.
Let's see if I had to think of one. Father keeps his shit together because I would have whooped the motherfucker's ass. I don't know, man. I can't call it.
Asymmetrical cut gets D grade, teacher says.
Well done, sir.
Or I got a punch up to yours. Father holds on by a strand.
Yeah. Yeah, what the why the I don't know what would have possessed the teacher to say, I'm going to take it upon myself to cut this kid's hair. You don't know what you're doing. You're not a barber. Also, aren't you supposed to be teaching?
Damn it, Jim, I'm not a barber.
I'm a teacher, not a barber. Oh, my God.
What are the rest of the kids doing while she's cutting hair? Or he, this teacher?
This is in Michigan. There are no other kids. It's just that one girl. That's why she gets so much attention.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if you find out later on that the kid was actually homeschooled?
Man, that mom got a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, my God. All right, last one. Some good people over at scene. Geraldine Jordan is the person who wrote this one. College students drank less during the pandemic, but used weed, psychedelics at record highs, study finds.
Hell
Getting high at record highs.
Pandemic makes students want to taste the colors.
This would have been a lot easier if I'd gone to a real college.
It was real. Ben Wallace graduated from a community college.
The particular one I went to, too. College students hit the books and the bong.
There you go.
There you go.
Pretty great.
We'll talk with it. If you try to escape the horrors of last year by doing your best guy on the couch cosplay, then you're not alone. A recent study published by the National Institute of Drug Abuse found that half of United States college students aged 19 to 60 admitted to using weed in 2020.
19 to 60. That's hilarious.
While that may not exactly seem like a revelatory revelation, the Monitoring the Future study made researchers wonder, were people turning to weed to escape the pandemic? Fuck yeah, they were. Okay, while this is not a direct scientific quote, the study reported that 44% of the students of the surveyed 1,550 college students said they used weed in 2020 compared to 38% in 2015. Daily or near daily marijuana use saw an increase too, rising to 8% from 5% over the last 5 years. As it turns out, weed might have been the substance of choice, as reported alcohol use amongst college students dropped from 62% in 2019 to 56%. Binge drinking, a common extracurricular activity among college students, defined by having 5 or more drinks in one outing at least once in 2 weeks, decreased from 32% to 24% over the course of a year. The pandemic seems to have actually made marijuana into an alternative to escape the monotony of isolation, NIDA director Nora Volkow told the Washington Post. It made life become more boring, more stressful, so if drugs let you experience the completely different mental state, I wonder whether that would be a factor that leads people to use them. During the pandemic, doctors, as well as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, warned against alcohol use as it has an ability to weaken immune systems. The CDC also warned people to avoid drinking hand sanitizer in case you need another explanation as to why many of us use drugs to escape our hellscape reality. Oh shit, we totally forgot. Some people also chose to spice up their lives by transporting themselves to another realm, as the study also discovered an increase in psychedelic drug use amongst college students, rising from 5% in 2019 to 9% in 2020. Young adults not in college also use hallucinogenics more, reported an increase from 8 to 10%. That's definitely one of the greatest pandemic effects, said John Schulenberg, a psychology professor at the UM and the study's principal investigator, told the Washington Post. We clearly see that young people use alcohol as something to be taken at parties and gatherings. With the pandemic, those weren't happening, so the alcohol intake and binge drinking stopped. This all makes perfect sense to me. You know what I'm saying? You can't kick it at bars, you can't go kick it at parties, but you can just go home with a little sack of some good or some edibles and stuff like. Also, over the time that between these studies, 2015 and now, lots of states have legalized it or have expanded their medical use and so forth. It's just more weed to be had, and if nothing else, man, you can sit on the couch and get a little gone. I didn't realize Arizona has legal recreational weed until last week. So or earlier this week, can't recall.
I have to tell my sister.
Yeah, I am certain that she is aware. So
new headline: marijuana and focaccia use go up in certain states.
Gotcha. Oh man.
I think the psychedelics are to, change the scenery since you can't get out of the house.
Well, again, a couple more states made mushrooms legal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so like I said, I feel like if you just did the math and depending on where they ask these questions at, yeah, this could probably all be explained away by legalization in certain states.
Yeah, isn't like Washington like Amsterdam now or some shit? Like you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Oregon. Yeah,
it doesn't have a red light district, but
they do have fully nude dancing though. So
And what state is that?
Man.
Oregon.
No
In
wonder.
Oregon. I thought it was Colorado.
No wonder people were trying to take fucking wagons pulled by oxes across country to get there.
Colorado does have legal mushrooms and weed, but Boxer's talking about how basically you can just do whatever in Oregon. Oregon fully legalized all drugs. Remember we did
in Oregon.
Oh, they did.
Roast beef sales at an all-time high.
Oh shit. That is your news for this week. And you know how he gets down, man. First up, as always, is my man Tatum. What's good, baby?
What is good? Absolutely nothing. Huh.
Say it again.
I will. Man, something happened, and I was kind of on the fence about it. Usually, and I guess I came fully around to it, but usually the stuff Kanye doesn't bother me. Like, he's just a weird dude. Well, not even weird. Just a person I don't understand who's going through some shit. So, I just, kind of rolled over. But he did something that bothered me for the first time in a long time. And I had to think about it. So,
hold on, before you say it, can I guess?
Sure.
Is it because he got rid of one of the most amazing 3 Stacks verses that has been ever recorded?
He did. The fact that really didn't bother me because I got to listen to it, and that's where I came through it at the end. Okay. But like the purpose of the song, was Andre 3000, which is like one of my favorite rappers of all time. I know we talked about it not too long ago about how he really doesn't do much rapping anymore. Yeah,
more of a now.
Yes, and he's currently in Cleveland.
Oh, making his way around here doing this flute game.
No, he's acting or something. He's been here for a few months.
Oh shit!
Yeah, remember I mentioned that to you like a week ago to your.
I didn't know that meant he was here. I thought he showed up at the airport doing his thing.
Yeah, he's been here for a little while.
Okay, I need to go find 3 Stacks and just have a conversation. Anyway, go on.
So anywho, like the way Andre 3000 talked about it was like they both lost their mothers at a similar time, and like he he don't give everybody verses no more.
Correct.
So it was kind of like, and Kanye went on about his went on with his agenda to try to air out some things that instead of staying with what the true purpose of the song was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of came up with the realization like I still have to hear the song. I still got to hear one of my favorite rappers release something because he only really do shit with Frank Ocean and Kanye. That's pretty much it right now. But it took me a while to get there to kind of be like, all right, I still got to hear it.
I want to give you a story from over at OK Player about this very matter. See if I can dig it up.
Okay.
I just saw it the other day. Apparently they have
And also, while you're looking for that, I sent you a link where Freddie Gibbs kind of tried to get at Kendrick Lamar. What do you think about that?
I listened to. I think that's fun because Freddie has said in the past that Kendrick is one of the few in the game that can see him when it comes to this rap shit. So I think Freddie just is sparring. I don't think everybody. That's what everybody always want to make hip hop into. This must be gunplay and beef, and I'm like, no,
I don't think like that.
No,
unless it's unless it's some rapper I never heard of, they will shoot you.
This is Elijah C. Watson over at OK Player. He's a news and culture editor over there, and the headline for this, and feel free to punch it up if you want to. Andre 3000's Life of the Party verse deserved better than Kanye and Drake's pettiness. I think it's a fine headline, is it?
Yeah, that's perfect as it is.
Hey, Miss Donda, if you run into my mama, please tell her I said, say something. This is how Andre 3000 begins his verse on Life of the Party, an unreleased track that was supposed to appear on Kanye West's new album, Donda. What follows is a touching tribute to 3000's own mother and his father, Sharon Benjamin Hodo, who passed away in 2013 from natural causes, and Lawrence Walker, who died a year later from a heart attack. As he hopes to pass on messages to his parents from the beyond through West's late mother, Donda West, you can hear the numbness in Andre's voice as he ponders the existence of the afterlife and reflects on the relationship to his parents, as well as their relationship with one another. Miss Donda, you see my father, please ask him why he never married. Always smiled, but what was he happy inside? Because I carried my mother's name, did he carry shame with him? I'm sure she did it out of spite. It was her decision at birth. Shit, she probably was hurt. Oh, poor baby. Two young people with different views, a lot for a young lady. No coincidence they both passed away from heart conditions. There's a distance, a play. Dad and mom do hard division. The verse is heartbreaking, but powerfully vulnerable too. Admitting at one point that he's lost and simply wanting the comforting advice of his mother, a request that can't be fulfilled. Andre's guest verse was a glimpse at what Donda could have been, but the track was unfortunately left off the album. Then last weekend, the song was cynically leaked on Drake's Sirius XM station OVO Sound Radio, just a day after he released his sixth album, Certified Lover Boy. Following the leak, 3000 released a statement saying he was inspired by West's ideal to make a musical tribute to his mom, but that his verse was ultimately omitted from Donda because of the cursing in Life of the Party. Kanye is currently taking an anti-profanity stance. Both 3000 and West's verses for the leaked version have curse words. He then went on to share that the version of the track he received didn't have West's diss against Drake on it. The leaked version included some direct jabs at the Certified Lover Boy rapper, before adding, "It's unfortunate that it was released this way, and two artists that I love are going back and forth." He's right. It's a shame that 3000's brilliant and rare verse was released this way. Andre 3000 never wanted to offer a lackluster performance in either his own output or his guest appearances, and that's evident with his Life of the Party feature. The care and intention in his verse is so apparent that you can tell he wanted to do right by both West and Donda. To offer these confessions on wax was surely not an easy feat, but 3000 did it and offered Donda a tribute on par with West's Hey Mama, respectfully requesting her help as a conduit to his parents. That West follows up this with an unfocused verse that begins with his mother in view only to descend into disses directed at Drake and Travis Scott is disappointing. And for Drake to then leak this track, surely because of the disses made against him, only adds to the disappointment West and Drake's petty feud has overshadowed one of the greatest verses 3000 has offered in his career, and in the process, disrespected an artist that respects them both. In 2017, Andre 3000 shared how much of his parents' passing had impacted him on an interview with GQ magazine, even revealing that he was unsure if he actually had dealt with their deaths. The following year, he released a couple of musical tributes to his parents, Me and Ma, To Bury Your Parents, and Look Ma, No Hands. The former found the artist singing about the simple joys of being a child riding shotgun with his parents to the grocery store and football games, while the latter was a 17-minute jazz instrumental with James Blake, where 3000 plays the bass clarinet to explore the anguish and grief he feels. His Life of the Party verse was an extension of those songs, him returning to further unpack his feelings about his parents' passing. On its own, it's still a noteworthy moment, and surely would have been a standout if it had appeared on Donda, and according to both 3000's statement, as well as Tyler the Creator's made where he praised West's original verse for the track. 3000's verse would have complemented the Chicago rapper's initial verse well. Instead, it was a casualty of one of the most pointless hip-hop feuds to occur in recent history, pitted in between two men whose albums don't even come close to the unflinching realness offered up by Andre 3000 in one verse.
You think?
Well,
Also could have been that. It also could have been that he didn't want to be overshadowed by 3000.
Nah, that's not really Kanye's mindset.
Oh,
He really is. He really, like I said, I don't know if you've listened to Donda yet, but he really has. No cuss words, no nigga, no nothing, and it's. I get it. That is your choice as a man trying to follow God. That means he got mad, kicked the verse about Drake, and then was like, nah, never mind. Which I actually think is a good thing. So in that regard, I'm kind of like, it's not really the Drake Kanye beef that did this. You know what I'm saying? It's just Drake being a little petty bitch and like, I'm gonna release this song that's whack to me. I'm like, I guess, but then that's somebody in Kanye's purview that gave that song over to him. So that's also some fuck shit. Can't call it, man. I just know that shit is so whack. It's like, I don't know, man. What did my man what's his name? I forgot his name. Cannabis say, it's because of you now I really know what beef is. And this is not beef. This is beyond meat. You know what I'm saying? This shit is not even beyond meat. Some other imitation. This is Mo Boca burgers, and I fuck a Boca, but still, it's not even. It doesn't even rise to the occasion of beef. But I get you, man. I hear what you're saying. It just happened to be like I said. I just happened to have read a story that kind of held hands with what you were saying.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of just came to the realization. I'm happy I got to hear it.
Okay, and I fuck with that, man. I don't know if I said it on the show. I very much enjoyed Donda. I've been regularly listening to it since the release. I gave Certified Lover Boy 2 full listens, so don't think that I'm just whatever. And I've been trying to dig. As it turns out, this is something I discovered. I know Drake, but I don't know Drake's catalog. Like, I know Start from the Bottom. I know Hotline Bling. I know some of the hits. And there's a few songs off of Scorpion that I like. That I like I said, I made my own little Scorpion playlist. I told you about that before. But I don't know Drake's body of work like that, is what it comes down to. So I've been trying to go back and listen to some Drake to see what I'm missing. Not what I'm missing per se, but you know what I'm saying? If there's something in his catalog that speaks loudly to me. And that's not me trying to diss Drake or anything like that. But I just don't I didn't enjoy most of Certified Lover Boy. It's not for me, and that's okay too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I very much like Kanye West's music, so it's relatively easy like that. I'm not cool with Kanye at all, but I can appreciate his art, and so I do. So that's how I've been rolling with that physical situation.
Yeah, I tried to listen to Donda. I really couldn't get into it. I mean, and it's not the no cussing because 808s and Heartbreaks don't have any cussing on it.
Yeah. No, it just, if it don't speak, it don't speak to you. But jail so hard, jail goes so hard, man.
Oh, I like Moon.
Moon is beautiful. The Kid Cudi joint, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. My favorite song on there is Hurricane. Love that song. That's The Weeknd on the hook. But like I said, I enjoyed the album immensely, and like I said, it's gotten a lot of play. But my current album of the year is still Real Late by Peter Rosenberg. I would tell you to go give that a listen. I just got the vinyl of that. A very limited edition vinyl release that turns out got even more limited because they lost a box of 50 of them to storm damage.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So what was supposed to be 500 records is now 450 records. So I'm quite happy I got one.
Was it a hurricane?
But yeah, the hurricane. What is that one that hit New York? Hurricane. I don't know. Yeah. The one that just hit New York in the last couple weeks, where a good chunk of New York was flooded and several people died. So
yeah, seeing all those messed up basements and stuff was pretty bad.
Yeah. So that's what's up. Anything else, Ant, man?
No, not really. Just living life.
I'm glad about that.
You guys getting ready for? I'm getting ready for Christmas.
No, but
already?
I give Christmas the long view, so I hear you. I was going to ask you how the boys are doing in school thus far. How are you feeling? How are they doing in school?
Man, we I'll tell you a little. You guys want to hear about Emmy or Anthony?
Both.
Okay. Well, Emery is doing okay, but he last Thursday he didn't get a prize out the treasure box.
Okay. What's the rules
Um,
for the treasure box?
just be I guess do what you're supposed to do and you'll get something.
Fair enough.
And Emery did not, and he wasn't heated about it, but he was just like, "Nah, I ain't get shit." Kind of fuck my teacher.
She was a
Um,
bitch anyway, Dad. I'm just keeping
yeah,
it
he
real
he
with you,
was just
baby.
like, "I ain't getting nothing. That shit wasn't fair." But I'm cool with it though. But he did. But today is Thursday. He only go to school Monday through Thursday, so he did get something this week. So he's improving with that. It's just pretty much positive reinforcement. I get it.
You went over and snatched it out of the teacher's hands. Said, "Damn right."
I told him, I was like, you know what? No matter what, if you get something, you don't get something, I still love you. Just try to do your best. And he was like, all right. My other son, Anthony, is just like he does really, really, really good in school. Like the teacher loves him. He like picks up stuff real quick. Um, some kids was fighting over being his best friend the other day, and like he actually got a point removed because for not being I guess not quote unquote not being polite. But I told him I was like, honestly, man, you don't got to be everybody's friend. If you only want one best friend, you only want one best friend. So I guess how it went down is another kid was like, "No, I want to be your best friend too." He was like, "Nah, I'm okay. I have one best friend. I'm good with that." And then
Multiple
another
best
little
friends are
kid,
pretty good, though.
what'd you say, Gabe?
Multiple best friends are pretty cool, though.
I mean,
It's pretty cool
yeah,
when you
but
have when you have the capacity to deal with that.
yeah,
Currently, and Junior is like, I can only deal with what I got right here on my plate.
and like his his other best friend is in his school too, his little brother. So like it's funny, like they talk about that every day when they get home. Like I seen Anthony in school, or Emery be like, or Anthony would be like, I seen Emery in school, and Emery was supposed to be sitting down, and he came to my lunch table twice. He wasn't supposed to do that. So it's going pretty good. Next week we got the dad walk, um, which we didn't get to do it last year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, well, not weird. I'm gonna walk the boys to school, but I'm probably just gonna park in the McDonald's parking lot and then walk over because ain't nobody walking from our house, which is like over a mile to the school, with Anthony and Emery. That shit would not work.
That's a bit much.
But yeah, we're gonna do that, and I know. Well, I know they probably weren't excited about it, but they did the Scholastic Book Fair,
Okay.
but they did it online. So I bought some books. Probably too many books, but they deserve it.
I told you that's one of my greatest memories of my father. The Scholastic Book Fair.
Now tell us about it.
No, you didn't tell us this. This is new.
So, my parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and we moved from Michigan to Tennessee. Probably within months of the divorce. So I wasn't really raised. I was not raised around my father, but I talked to him on the phone, and he paid enough child support to not be too bad on my mama's esteem. But at one point, he came down to Tennessee and visited us. And it was right. It had to be early toward the school year because the book fair was happening, and he let me pick a couple of books, and was gonna take care of them. But then when the books show up, and you know how Scholastic Book Fair work, that should be like 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Well and true, after he had returned home, my books show up, and there was way more books than I picked out. It turns out he went through, added some more books to the bill and paid for them hoes, and so I came up on a grip of books from that particular Scholastic Book Fair, of which many of which I had not chosen myself. My old man had chosen for me. And I just think that's still kind of dope. That's like one of my, like I said, not a lot of memories of my old man, but that's one of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I fuck with you for hitting the Scholastic Book Fair for your youngins, because this just
I turned 40 this year, and I know that I'm further, I'm closer to death than I am to life now.
for sure.
So I do kind of think like everything I do is like, I know Anthony will remember me more than Emery would if I died tomorrow. So I just gotta make sure a lot of the stuff I do is purposeful and like they'll remember it, and you know, I'm not trying to overshadow my partner, but at the same time, I want my kids to remember me for being a dad who listened to them and did stuff for them and did stuff with them.
Yeah. So I'm a constant speech fire my children. I'm hoping that I'm dropping some pearl of wisdom, a nugget, you know what I'm saying, that will hold sway over their life throughout it. You know what I'm saying? It's why I'm wildly supportive of my youngest child's choosing to identify as non-binary, and I try to be very good about how I gender them and so forth, because I want them to know if nobody else is on your team, your daddy on your team. And I get that. That is like you said, just a little parenting 101. Be on your kid's team, man. Just fully. And I'll be on my kid's team, and that shit be problematic sometimes, but don't make me cuss you out. That's just all it is. You better do right by my child. I might show up at that school. So
Yeah.
that's just how it goes some days, man. That's what's up, bro. Fuck with it. Fuck with it hard, man. I'm glad they are still growing. Well, of course, you know what I'm saying. But I'm glad as they go through school year, they are growing and becoming and understanding. And they got a dope dad. So there you go. What you got better than that, man? And they got a dope mom. It's just you, my homeboy. I love your partner. That's because she is your partner, and therefore that is special in his own way. But I mean,
Yeah.
man, you know how this
I understand.
I'm gonna cheer for my teammates at all times. Daniel, you hit the road running last week, and I have no real anything of this, because, of course, you know what I'm saying, you was on the road and shit. I can't be bothering you the whole goddamn time. Tell me, sir, of your adventures through the plain states, some of the plain states, as you cross the Midwest and into the plain states.
Let me tell you that a lot of them are playing because they're boring as hell. There ain't shit going on. What?
I was gonna say I guess I'll get a insight on which states to skip on my trip.
No, you got to go to every state.
Yeah. Don't take my word for it. I went to Kansas City to watch the Cleveland Browns blow a game to the Kansas City Chiefs. And so me and a couple buddies, we left last Friday after work. And we drove down to Columbus first and stopped. Like, my one buddy hadn't had dinner, and I hadn't really eaten dinner either, but I wasn't particularly hungry. But since we were stopping, I figured I'd eat. So we went to some pizza place that he likes down there, which was kind of like how we used to go to Vincenzo's up here, where we, they'd warm it up and whatnot. And I'll be honest, I didn't really do it for me. I don't know, he likes it. I wasn't really that impressed, but it was edible. But I had this mushroom garlic slice, and yeah, if you're in, I wish I could be oh, it was amazing, but to me, it really wasn't. So I'm sorry that I don't like that pizza place as much as he does.
I don't think you owe anybody an apology for that.
No.
Well, that's the thing. It's when I tell people I really like a place, and they don't. It kind of throws me. But I don't know. We ended up going to this hot dog place that was 2 doors down from there too, that he really liked. and it was kind of like our Happy Dog, where they put like different shit on top of the hot dogs. Like I got one that was like jalapeno popper,
Oh,
and then
That
I
sounds
got
good.
you see, and then I got a loaded baked potato one, and in theory they're good, but I think they needed a little more. So the problem is they have like warm hot dogs, and then they just throw cold ass ingredients on them,
Oh,
and they need to fucking throw that shit under a broiler for a minute or something. Just get the temperature up a little bit, maybe like get the ingredients a little up. Because if they did that, I think it'd be way better. As it was just okay, But I think if they did my little suggestion, it would bring that rating up a little bit. And then we got back in the car, and the aim was to try and get to St. Louis, but we did not make it to St. Louis. Sorry, even on my vacation, I've been waking up early. So we didn't have like anything booked. We didn't have the target was to try and get as close to St. Louis as we could. I would say that we were probably an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of St. Louis when we ultimately ended up stopping.
Were you in Missouri, or were you still in Illinois, on the Illinois side of it?
I want to say we were in Missouri, but I don't remember for sure. But I can tell you this. The first place we tried when we got off the freeway was the scariest motel situation I had ever seen in my entire life. It was like something you would see in a horror movie where like the trucker gets off the highway and he's staying at this like little strip shack. It's like the 12 rooms are all next to each other and they're separate from the office. And the place looks like a ghost town. And one of the doors isn't like the original door, so it's all jacked up. And the parking lot's made of dirt. It was very much a murder motel.
Murder motel.
So we ended up not even getting out of the car. We immediately turned around and got back on the freeway. Drove a couple more miles down and ended up in civilization. And then we tried to, I think it was like a Holiday Inn. But they had no vacancies. So then on the other side of that same exit, there was, I don't know, I don't remember, it wasn't like a Wyndham, but it was, I don't know, it was some hotel, and they had a suite available that had 3 beds in it, which was perfect because there was 3 of us. So that ended up working out. And then we crashed there. None of us got breakfast, even though it was free breakfast. It was like this talkative ass lady was running the counter, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, it was 3 o'clock morning for us, 2 o'clock for them because we had the time change, and we were trying to like just get our shit and go to bed. But it was like every time we would say something, she'd interject, and she drew the process out for like an additional 10 minutes by like just trying to be charming or something. And I would come to find over the weekend that this is just how people are down there.
they're just friendly.
Yeah. If you're not black. So yeah, we crashed there, and then we got up in the morning and hit the road. And we stopped in St. Louis at this barbecue place that I guess is like famous. It was called Pappy's Barbecue, and they had like a sign up that they were voted like the best wings in America on Food Network or something like that. I mean, not wings, ribs. Sorry, ribs. Best ribs in America. And so I figure like, I'd never be there. I'd never been there before. I don't know if I'd ever go back again. So I'm like, I'll try what I can while I'm here. So I ordered like a pulled pork sandwich. I got sweet potato fries. I got baked beans. I got ribs. I got brisket. I got potato salad. I got green beans. And then my buddy ordered this like Frito pie that had like burnt ends on it. I can tell you it was by far the worst brisket I'd ever had in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
The pulled pork sandwich. So The thing I learned about St. Louis is they depend on their sauces to make the meats edible. Like their pulled pork sandwich was very dry until I put sauce on it. The sauce is what saved it.
Was the
Um,
sauce good?
so they had like 4 different sauces on the table in like their little squirt cart. They
Squirt
had like
cart.
their like homemade sauce or whatever. They had like a chipotle vinegar. Um, they had some sort of like hoodoo sauce that was a little spicy, and then they had like a sweet sauce. They were all. Sorry, I had a text message. Um, they they were all good in their own way. Like the house sauce was just kind of like a normal barbecue sauce. The sweet one was like a sweet barbecue sauce. The hoodoo one was a spicy barbecue, and then the chipotle vinegar was just vinegar with like a chipotle flavoring in it, but it had a nice flavor profile about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the ribs were fine. Like they didn't wow me, but yeah, the brisket was fucking terrible. It was like eating Arby's roast beef.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, like I go into it thinking brisket. Like I've seen so many briskets cooked on TV. Like I've made brisket. Like it looked nothing like any brisket I'd ever seen. Like it was fucking rubbery looking, and it didn't look like brisket. It literally like had the same feel and look of consistency of Arby's roast beef. So yeah, that was not good. But so we ended up leaving there, and so then we ended up driving to Kansas City. We immediately went to like our Airbnb, and what I learned about the Kansas City area where we were staying is half the houses seemed really nice, and the other half looked like they were out of the 8 Mile movie. It was really, and it was like they were next to each other. It was a really odd dynamic. Like it's like the one house was like condemned, and next to it looked like a $200,000 home. It was very weird. I'd never been in a place like that before. Usually, like they're separated
Yeah.
by more than a privacy fence. So the Airbnb we stayed in had multiple floors about it. It had like the main floor, the second floor, and then there was a third floor, and then and a basement. Um, it had a nice like sitting porch that wrapped around it because the house was like kind of circular shaped on the outside. They had, and it was clearly like kept up and remodeled over the years because they had like a newish kitchen. They had a big dining room, a nice den. The basement was where they had like their wraparound couch. They had like the kind of couch with like the buttons to like raise the legs and tilt the back and shit like that. They had a big TV down there. They had a recording studio down there because the guy does music. Like in the dining or the hallway where you come in, he had like a stand set up and he had a bunch of free CDs available. I didn't grab any of them, but he had like 3 different like CDs that like I don't know if it's his band or just him, whatever. But
They were free. You could have made the guy feel better.
man, we paid him. Well, my buddy paid him enough money for us to stay there. You know, he didn't need us taking his CDs too. It was interesting though. We first walked into the house, it smelled like weed,
Oh.
which like I didn't smell it any time after we first walked in, but it definitely was like I didn't say anything, and then my one buddy said something to me the next day about like, man, it smelled like weed when we walked in here. I was like, damn, you too? Okay, I thought it was just me. But you know, like it was the
Did you
kind of
look
place.
behind? Did you look
What?
behind the animal head to see if it was a pipe back there?
No, they actually had a camera in the den and in the recording studio, so like I wasn't fucking around with shit.
Oh.
Well, because he has like musical equipment in there, so he puts the cameras on it to keep an eye on it, I guess.
So he saw you walk up, look at his CDs, and said, "They're free, but nah, I'm not
No.
taking them."
I mean, unless he had another camera set up, no, because the camera wasn't pointed in that direction. It was pointed like towards this piano.
Oh, okay.
The CDs were in the hallway. So like that for like I ended up staying in the upstairs of the house, which like kind of sucked because it was a little warm up there because it was like I said, it was the 3rd floor, so it took a little bit for the fucking AC to get up there, and then also the upstairs, like the 3rd floor, was clearly like a little boys' room and a little girls' room, and like there was like 2 bedrooms up there, and then there was a bathroom up there, but like because I was on the third floor, I had to deal with the angles from the fucking roof. So it's like those like slanty colonial type rooms that I fucking can't stand because I'm a tall guy. So I had to like bend my neck to move around the bedroom at points. And then the fucking bathroom, like the sink was like below my dick. It was like all the way low. Like my head went above the mirror. I couldn't even get in the fucking shower because the shower door didn't open all the way because of the fucking ceiling. So like I had to suck it in and like basically grease myself up to slide into the fucking shower. Then when I'm in the shower, I didn't have any room to maneuver. So like I couldn't back up. I couldn't really lift my arms all the way. And then the shower head is like eye level, so it's pointed down at my fucking chest. So I'm trying to like wash my hair, but I can't back up to like put my head under the water. It was a fucking horrible time. Worst like shower experience I've ever had.
Yeah, you were in a child space.
Wow.
Yeah. So the next morning, like after I did all this, and I go downstairs. Let me back up. They decided to go out to like a bar that night when we got in, and I didn't want to go out, so like I ended up Uber eating some Mexican food, and I stayed in and watching some Netflix because I was tired. Like I had been cramped in the back of that car for like almost a full day, and I knew that I was gonna have to like go out with people the next day and tailgate and go to the game and shit. And I didn't want to go out 2 days in a row. Like I looked at it like I'm here to relax right now before I have to be fucking sweating my balls off and putting up with strangers the next day. So I took a little me time that evening, and I watched like Dave Chappelle and shit like that on Netflix for a little while. The Uber Eats food was like not that impressive, if I'm being honest, but I got to eat a churro for the first time in my life. Then, so the next morning, like after I went through all that, I came downstairs. My buddy's like, "Oh, how was the shower?" And I'm like, "Fucking terrible, the worst one of my life." And he was like taken aback because like this whole place was nice, but little did he know because he took one of the adult bedrooms, he didn't have to deal with the same shit I had to deal with. So we ended up leaving, going meeting everybody for the tailgate, and what I learned was there's not a lot of shit going on in these like Kansas City suburbs. The sports are like the main thing. Everything else is kind of like condemned looking. Not a lot of people around. Kind of a sad state of affairs, if I'm being honest. But the people at the football game were very nice. Everyone that we walked through the parking lot, like it took a while to get in because like they have their parking lots surrounding the stadium. And even though we were there like 3 hours early, it was just like packed out. We went and met my buddy's family because he was the one who bought the tickets, and he has like $100,000 camper van thing that they use for tailgating. Because apparently the guys like got some money from the state when they wanted to build a highway through a scrapyard a while back or something. So the dude's sitting on a couple milli, and so. Yeah, I found that out after the fact. But yeah, he had a nice like trailer that had like some TVs, it had its own Wi-Fi, like a fold out awning. It had a bathroom inside, air conditioning. But we stood outside for a while and ate. It was progressively getting hotter and hotter. Like it got up to like 92 while we were there. It was fucking miserable. Like I was sweating my balls off, and my one buddy doesn't sweat, so like he had to go inside the trailer for a while and cool down, and then he watched the first half of the game from the concourse because if he was out in the sun, he probably would have died.
Jeez.
And I learned too that my hatred of summer is very well founded. I hate being out in the heat. I'm also out of shape, which I already knew that, but the heat made that way more apparent. The Browns played a great game until they decided to choke. But at least the people were nice. Like, no one fucking harassed me. No one tried to fight me. They were talkative. They were complimentary. But I guess it's easy to be complimentary when your team ultimately wins. So I don't know what they would have been like had they lost. But they were gracious in victory. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
So it was luckily because of the parking situation. We didn't have to go very far to get to the car. It was like literally outside the entrance. Like we walk out the gate, and it was like like 2 rows away from the gate. So I was like, I left the stadium, and I was to the car within like a minute.
How old is their stadium?
So I asked someone that while I was sitting down in the stadium,
Yeah.
and they told me it was built in the early 70s.
Oh,
Really? Has it gotten any like recent updates or anything?
See, I didn't get to like walk around a lot on the inside because I can tell you this: they're not very good at letting people in the fucking stadium. Like usually when you go to an event, they have you take your shit out of your pocket and put it on the table and then walk through a metal detector.
Yeah.
This place, a little stupid. They put the table on the other side of the metal detector, so you have to set the metal detector off before you can take. Yeah.
That's kind of hype though, because if you don't set it off, it's on your way.
Yeah, well, the problem is all the people that have shit in their pockets that they would have taken out of their pockets are setting off the fucking metal detector and making the line longer than it needs to be.
Fair enough.
So, I ended up missing the Browns' whole first drive because I couldn't get in the fucking stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I was walking through the concourse when Nick Chubb scored the first touchdown. I didn't see the entire drive because I couldn't get in the goddamn stadium. And I was outside the stadium 30 minutes before kickoff. I was literally in line. It took that long to get in. And we didn't have the line wasn't that long when we got in it. There's no way in hell it should have taken that long.
Kansas City, you know what you need to work on.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Good parking, bad people skills.
So we lost, and then we walked back to the car, got in, sat in the air conditioning for a little bit, because we had to wait for our one buddy to meet up because he wasn't sitting with us. He was at the very top of the stadium. So we had to wait probably about 15 minutes for him to get down. And then we had wanted to get Kansas City barbecue, but at this point it was like 7:30 on a Sunday, and ain't shit open at that time really.
Well,
so
sucks.
we ended up at like a chain restaurant. I'd never heard of it, but it was like very clearly like a chain restaurant. It was Smokehouse something, and I'll be honest, like I drank so much water while I was at the stadium that I wasn't particularly hungry because I just was full up on H2O. Yeah. Like I literally drank 2 liters of water from the middle of the second quarter to the beginning of halftime. I was fucking dying. I was so hot. My heart was racing. It was not a good time up to that point, even though the Browns were winning at that point. Because it was like they don't have like really like a roof on that bitch, so the sun was like, and it was a 3:30 game there, 4:30 for the East Coast. Yeah. So it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, 90 plus degrees outside, and the sun is literally just fucking sitting on you. It wasn't until after halftime that the sun kind of moved down the horizon, and our section had some shade because it like where we were at, the sun couldn't get to us anymore. So it started to cool down like in the third quarter, but that's when all the bad shit started happening. But anyway, so we go to this barbecue place after the game, and I ordered kind of like a sampler platter sort of deal. It was like ribs, burnt ends, some chicken. It came with, I got like mashed potatoes with it. I mean, not mashed potatoes, potato salad. I got a baked potato and some mac and cheese. And I ended up eating the potato salad, the mac and cheese, and like the brisket ends or whatever. And then I took the rest of it back to the Airbnb because I wasn't really hungry. So we ended up leaving abruptly, really, because our buddy was driving as the one who was like has the problem with overheating. And as we were packing up like the food in the leftover containers, he's like, "We gotta go." And he just stands up, grabs his shit, and leaves. And it wasn't until like we were driving back to the Airbnb that he tells us that he felt like he was about to pass out. So we had to go back to the Airbnb like real quick, which is fine because like I was tired, I was sweaty. But he tells us that we have to be out of the house in the morning by 8 a.m.
Oh no!
It's like the worst Airbnb ever.
It wasn't the Airbnb's rules. Okay. He wanted to get back because he had to work the next day, and it's a 12-hour drive. Plus, we were losing an hour to the time change.
Yeah.
So he wanted to be back, like earlier in the night rather than at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I wasn't thrilled about that because I'm not like trying to wake up early on vacation, but I understood. So it was what it was. So I went to bed around 11. It was hot as fuck in my room because like the AC wasn't cranked and it wasn't hitting up there. So I had to sleep with a fan like pointed directly on me just to like pass out. Luckily though, I was exhausted from the day, so I kind of fell asleep like within a few minutes. Got like 4 hours of sleep before I woke up, but it was like enough to get me through. Packed up in the morning. Now, the Airbnb host had texted him and asked that like we put all the used dishes in the dishwasher, throw the trash out, and that any bed that was slept on, we like take the sheet off of it.
Yeah, strip the beds.
Yeah, so I took the sheet off of it, and I found like a little fucking pillow topper underneath that had a pee stain on it.
Oh.
Because I was sleeping at a little boy's bed, which I wasn't thrilled about, but it was what it was. So as we were packing up the car to leave, the neighbor's cat was on their porch, and like I started talking to it, and he like ran across their field to come say hi to me. So even in another state, cats come when I call. So then we ended up driving back some. We stopped at like a gas station. It was kind of like their version of Sheetz. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a Sheetz knockoff where like they made food and they had all kinds of shit in there. That's where I found like this ooey gooey cake shit that T was asking me for, but I sent him a picture of it. He's like, no, not that one.
I love like that's the tone you think that I have in that.
No, that's the tone I'm giving you because that's how I felt. TV sending me shit out of the blue like, oh, go find me this while you're in this place. So,
I didn't say go find me shit. I was saying had you in your trip to St. Louis come across ooey butter cake, it's a well-known thing.
Oh, you're going to this game? You should go see my mama too.
I'm saying if you're just gonna be Kansas City, you can go see my mama. Mama would love to see you.
Yeah, like I found, it was like this ooey gooey salted caramel cake. It was like a little square. I found it at a gas station, and like he had sent me like the request the day prior, and I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's got all the words he asked for. Let me send him a picture of it." And I sent him the picture. He's like, "No, that's not it." I'm just like, "All right, well, fine. Fuck, you get what you get."
We're gonna go to the record here. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can go to the record because I don't got the phone no more. See.
Oh, that's right. You got a new phone.
How could that be? I sent it to you like 3 days ago.
No, I have your part of the situation. So okay, I have from.
Wait, you got another new phone?
No. So besides the game, how was Kansas City, Missouri? Also, how I feel free to go see my mom while she's there. I'm sure she would love it. Yeah, I have nothing before. Saturday.
Yeah, you sent it to
me.
me.
And you left Friday, so I definitely sent it to you Friday.
You sent it to me in our group text.
Oh, okay. We bounce over to the group text.
You're gonna have to go back a while because you guys were fucking texting furiously while I was gone. I was like looking at my phone for a while, and then I looked back and there's like 12 text messages. But anyway, while you're stenographing me, we stopped at a Jack in the Box. So I got to try Jack in the Box tacos.
I think of the 2 for $1 still.
They were 2 for $1.40.
Oh, okay. Little increase.
I mean, everything's going up everywhere, but not bad for 70 cents. I'll say that. Like for 70 cents, it's a buy. I'll give them the thumbs up, the seal of approval. Their burger tasted just like a Burger King burger, so incomplete on that. But tacos pretty good. After that, like we basically just drove and stopped at like gas stations. There was one gas station we stopped at, and I ended up having to poop.
Oh.
Problem was, I'm mid poop when I realized there's no toilet paper in the stall.
Oh.
You gotta
Like
yell
it's
for help.
I'm literally half in, half out when I look over and I see that both of the dispensers are empty. I ended up wiping my ass with those little sheets on the wall to cover the toilet paper. I mean, the cover the toilet seat.
Been
I
there.
wiped my ass with like 12 of those things.
I have walked that walk, sir.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's like a waxy paper. So it was weird, but it got the job done eventually.
It's got a bit of an edge to it. It's basically like wiping your ass with damn tissue paper for wrapping gifts with.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of awful. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. But I also didn't want to sit and shit for the rest of the trip, so had to do what I had to do.
For sure.
So yeah, we left there, and then we stopped in Columbus to get gas and to get dinner, essentially, which ended up just being we stopped at Wendy's. Then we drove home, and that was about it. Like, that was the trip. And, like, I felt like I was gone for a long time, but it was only 3 days. In ways, it was eventful. In other ways, it was uneventful. Midwest, not a whole hell of a lot to see in that area. Like, I would say don't go there. Unless you have something very specific in mind. If you're just going to sightsee, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
I mean,
I was gonna go there for the barbecue, but now you made this barbecue is like underwhelming.
he just went to a poor barbecue place. But like the Arch is in St. Louis, ain't that? Is that like a known like hey, check it out, it's a big old arch.
I mean, we saw it from the freeway. It was an arch. The one funny thing was like when we were stopped at the barbecue place in St. Louis. I was waiting on my buddy to pay the parking because they had like one of those like signs where like you go to like the box or you pay on an app or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was taking fucking forever. And some like dude was walking down the street and he goes, "Hey man, can you tell me where this certain address is at?" And I'm like, "Brother, I ain't from here. I don't know. I don't even know where I am right now." And then like we stopped at a gas station that like later on that afternoon, and I'm walking out of the gas station with the water I just bought. And this family, like in a minivan, is pulling out of the parking spot to leave. And I noticed there's like a kid's coat on the ground. And then I look, and there's like 2 little kids in the backseat of the van. So I start flagging them down. And then like they wave back to me, and I'm like, "No." And I start pointing like downward. And then they like the mom in the passenger seat looks down, and she goes, "Oh." So they stop. So I bend down, I pick up the coat, and I hand it to her. And she's like, "Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day." "Oh, no, you too. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me."
Oh, that could have. All right, you're pointing down. That may have been like.
I was thinking, what my two learning are too fluffy.
Thanks, man. I knew somebody would understand. Oh my gosh. So I go to the general Kansas City area to see my mama when that is required of me. I don't fuck with that ever. And I've been going to Kansas since '86 as far as I can remember. God. So I'm on the other side. You were in the hype part?
See, I don't even think I was because there wasn't shit around there.
Yeah.
I didn't end up in like a downtown of Kansas City or anything. Like I was in the middle of fucking nowhere with nothing.
All right. Well, downtown Kansas City, Missouri is actually very nice. They have a nice little they have a like electric train, kind of like Toronto has.
Like where we were at and where the stadium area was at, I could see civilization on the horizon, but I never made it there.
Yeah. So it is very nice. I put some respect on it. But Kansas City, Kansas. Probably like all of Kansas is just like why are we here? What are we doing? You know what you're doing? You're growing for the food that this nation needs, and we respect them for it. But man, I have the memory of watching the Cavs win the championship on my phone on my mama's porch. That is about the dopest memory I have from Kansas City, Kansas.
Father's Day 2016.
That general area of the world. So there you go with that. All right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you got some trip on another trip under your belt. A good time to be had. That's a couple that you've gotten to do during this awful pandemic that just can't let up. But still, I'm glad you got out there and got to have a good time. And I'm glad you guys got back in due course. So I hope that your buddy got to work the next day with no issue. Tell him always bake in a buffer day for travel. I ended up getting the buffer day because my phone was dead, but it's a good thing.
Well, no, the problem is sometimes in his position he can't.
Ah, true.
Because he kind of like runs the fucking company.
Oh yeah.
So he was taking calls while he was driving us home.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have the option of the buffer day.
Well, whenever possible, try to bake.
Yeah.
You know that's the advice that you and I have over years of travel have come across. A buffer day is necessary and wise, and
Shit,
also
I took a buffer week.
you need to take some time, so it's okay.
Well, yeah, shit. Like we're in September, and I had 3 weeks of vacation to take. So after this, I still have 2 more weeks I need to do, and we're already midway through September.
Yeah.
Plus, I still have a week of sick time.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully you don't have to use that, but I hear you. Yeah.
Doctor's appointments, right?
I ain't been to the doctor since '86. I'm probably gonna have to use a couple sick days for Christmas Eve and like Christmas time because I'm going to Green Bay and I'm not gonna be able to take vacation because like I used it. I took it last year, so I'm gonna have to be sick on Christmas.
Yeah.
That fruitcake.
Can't believe you caught that cold from that weird fruitcake you ate, man. It's fucked up.
I can't believe I got that COVID from me never wearing a mask and whatnot.
I am never leaping to COVID. I don't want none of y'all to ever get COVID. All right.
I can tell you down there, they don't fuck with like. I'm not saying they don't fuck with masks.
Oh no.
But like they didn't really, Even like when I got on the elevator in the Chiefs Stadium, she was like, "Hey, whatever. You ain't gonna be on here long anyway."
Yeah, that state currently has, I believe, one of the highest infection rates in the nation. So, yeah, they don't fuck with masks.
It was very freeing. I enjoyed that aspect of it very much.
Have that. All right, Gabriel, we walk the walk, baby. What's going on in your world?
I wish I had a music antidote or something, but getting ready to travel this great nation. Bought a truck to haul the RV. It's magma red, but it looks black to me.
Is it like liquid hot magma?
Yeah. It's. You think magma red? You think like a bright red, don't you?
I would think like a burgundy.
Oh well, okay. Well, you're thinking right. I was thinking wrong. Yeah. Well, what do I know? Yeah.
I don't know. One of us has a college degree.
Well. That don't mean shit. I've been making playlists on my phone, though. I don't know how interesting that is, but I made one for 1994.
That's a good porn year.
It was?
That's a good porn year?
I'm guessing. I don't know. They all seem pretty good to me.
I bet it was.
I mean, obviously, aren't these depending on who you ask, these are either the worst or the best times for porn right now.
I feel like we've oversaturated the market a bit.
I kind of feel like the amateur market is oversaturated. Where's the production value nowadays?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where's the love?
I feel like people are skating by on too light of a catalog, expecting the world. Like, no, you gotta get them items up. I'm not about to hand you $20 for 3 pictures and a boomerang.
Yeah, like the production value. I mean, I don't pay for adult entertainment anyway, but I'm definitely ain't paying for 2 angles, either in front or the back. That's only 2 angles you get nowadays.
Yeah, they gotta start using some drones and shit.
Yeah, y'all got to get with it.
It's interesting. Drones.
Yeah, porn angle drones gotta be
Or like the
gotta be
people
done.
that like strap their camera onto the end of the ceiling fan so that it like rotates around them.
Yeah, you gotta.
Well, it's got to
You
go
gotta.
pretty slow though. It's gonna make you dizzy.
I can see somebody like putting
The
two
camera
bricks on.
rotates, not you.
Oh, what? Yeah, but no, I mean
They
like
got those.
people
They got
watching will
those.
be dizzy.
They got those little things like you know you have a party. You gotta
Yeah,
you put the phone on the thing and it keep on rotating.
yeah, the
But
platforms with the arms that go around. Yeah,
yeah, you gonna have to get one of those. But you gotta put like two bricks on it to for it to slow down. Because it was funny. Like I was looking up something, and you know, usually on I think it's on the hub. It's a scene jump on there, like the little white lines. It's like, okay, blank, blank, blank. This one had one white line in the middle. It's like, you go either watch this or you go watch that. That's it.
There is some site that has little pictograms at the bottom. So basically, like, that's where the head is at. This is where the on top is at. This is where from the behind is at. And it's like, I'd like to thank you for being so considerate as to give everybody. See, this is why I would agree. I would go with the people who think that it's a golden age, because right now, if you got a yum, you can find it. You know what I'm saying? There's
That is true.
a rare yuck to be had out there. If you fuck
I
with it, it can be had.
I agree. I agree that it is a golden age for the the way you can look things up and the way you can see different things. But as far as like the quality of new stuff, there's no, like I said, there is not. It's not there.
I mean, you basically you gotta go to the pay sites, because that's who's still making the material. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go pay.
See, but there goes the strange dichotomy of it. Like the way, you know, how do I say this without sounding too nasty? Um, the body
late.
type, you know, the body type and stuff that I'm looking for, or
It's not going to be in the pay sites,
it's not going to be on the pay sites.
because they still are doing the old school model of just your standard looking white girl in most situations. They will
Yeah.
every now and again get some some Latina ladies, but even then they find the models that don't necessarily live up to what you might be looking for.
No,
Yeah, so
it weirded me out the first time that like I found one of those 4K videos on accident, where it's like interactive, where like you move your phone around and it changes the angle of what you're seeing.
the VR joints, the whatever, yeah,
Yeah, like I stumbled
good.
upon that on accident. Like I didn't know what that like that's what I was clicking on.
yeah.
And then like when I moved the phone to like reposition and like it moved, I was like, oh shit.
What's that like? You're supposed to wear goggles or something with that shit?
They it's called Google Cardboard is one option, and also they do make goggles that you can set your phone in to watch what they call AR. Sometimes they call it 3D. Sometimes they call it VR videos. Yeah, there's a whole segment on YouTube. You can go watch tons of 360 videos. Is also what they call them. Tons of 360 videos to be enjoyed on YouTube if you fuck with that shit. But also, of course,
or Xtube.
porn was like, come this way, you know, get your POV shot. You can
That
be
might,
here.
that might be another aspect
Like you're
to
banging
the argument of golden age.
Yeah. I always hear, I'm not, I don't know VR porn like that, but from people who talk about, like the John Bombcast used to kind of chat about it when they were talking about VR. And they said the problem is oftentimes the camera, basically the shit'll look real long, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can understand the view being not quite, can't get it quite right. Quite, not yet. Maybe, but maybe it's been some years, who knows? Maybe the new age, newfangled versions of that is like the shit. So, can't call it.
So is any of this stuff in this playlist you're making, Gabe?
No, I was talking about a music playlist, but
Oh.
Not Boner Jams 94.
no Booner Jams 94. Boner
So
Jams.
I know one song that you had stuck in my head, Gabe, was "Not a Gentleman" by Willie D.
That was
I'm not a
that's like
motherfucking
91,
gentleman, or a
92.
nice guy, or a good fella. I straight up tell her, bitch, to suck my dick. Fuck that beating around the bush shit. I don't know. I can tell you exactly why I know that song so well. A friend of mine. I remember his name. I just won't say it on the podcast.
I just say it so I can be, and I'll beep it out.
Yeah, we
Okay,
haven't had a sword slash in a while.
my friend was one of my best friends in eighth grade, and he had left this mixtape in my Sony Walkman, and it was the kind. It might have been an AOA, the kind that you can flip it back and forth without turning over the tape. Anywho, he had recorded off the radio for me "Who Shot Ya" by Biggie, and it was a ton of other songs on there. And one of the other songs on there on the B side, this mixtape was that song that starts ladies first, record scratch, ladies first. Who the fuck made up that shit? I was like, whoa, what is this song? It's
Willie
so
D
funny.
sounded angry, and Willie D does sound angry in that song.
Willie D sounds angry when he talks.
Yeah, but he reminds me so much of my Uncle Preston. Because I remember on the cover of one of the Willie D albums, he had like a jumper on or coveralls with one down. And my uncle is a contractor by trade, and he often wears coveralls and talk like Willie D. So he just remind me of that.
Yeah, I was thinking of making a disrespectful mix full of songs like that, like Too Short's Just a
A
Word,
bitch is
and
a bitch. Oh, okay. Ain't nothing but a word to me. Yeah,
yeah.
he got a lot of
Well, I could just put a bunch of Too Short songs on there.
some I would Too Short would definitely be on there.
Domestic violence, a classic.
Yeah.
You ain't shit, your mama ain't shit, daddy ain't shit. I kind of feel like I will put Kim by Eminem on there.
I was thinking about that one too.
So
That's a
long, bitch, you did me so wrong. I'll use that word. I'm gonna stop saying it. Most of those songs are just really disrespectful to women. But
that's why it's called a disrespectful mix. But I don't know. I was debating that.
what's your favorite disrespectful song of all time, Gabe?
Oh God. It might be Trust No. Try not to say the word lately. Trust No B by I think that's DJ Quick with Easy E on it.
I feel like one near and dear to my heart is "Ain't No Fun." That is just.
Can't have
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house? With a fat dick for your motherfucking mouth. Hoes recognize, niggas do too. Oh, well, all the way around. But yeah, "Ain't No Fun" gotta be probably the best disrespectful song of all time. Like at least top 5.
What's your favorite disrespectful song, Tayro?
Oh, well, look, Ain't No Fun is definitely a bona fide, certified classic. Good question. Have never considered it, and my mental song catalog is so deep that I can't even fucking call it.
My 1B would probably be another Willie D song, "Bald Headed Hoes."
Bald head hoes. What you see, D? What you see, D? I see some bald head hoes. Yeah. Oof, man, most of them Ghetto Boys' first albums where they was like, if you gonna make us have this porno version of the label, then fuck it. Let me go ahead and really show what it is. I remember. So I used when I was in high school. My rap style was very much in the vein of Scarface. So I would always be told I sound like Scarface when I rap shits. But Like Scarface, you know what I'm saying? The original, what I have in this world, all I have in this balls and my word. That shit, yeah, that one, that particular one goes and so forth. So all them Ghetto Boys, early Ghetto Boys joints, yeah, man, fuck with it. It's funny how Ghetto Boys like eventually got a little more commercial with fuck Mind's playing tricks on me. But then
Yes.
never all the way when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, my mom's playing tricks on me was like such a mega hit. That song was so good.
I mean, it still goes too.
Yeah, it does.
R.I.P. Bushwick Bill. Scarface today successfully had a kidney transplant. So
Oh, okay.
I'm glad he was able to get that, and may he live on. May he live on for that much longer because of it. Because he was in a way.
Yeah, I always crack up when I see George Lopez and how he's still living. Cause he I think he got a kidney from his wife at the time, and
Yeah.
then they divorced soon after.
Yeah.
But he'll always have a part of her. Part of her will be with him.
Sure.
I was thinking of making a mix called Wu Tang is for the children, a bunch of clean versions of Wu Tang songs I can play for my kids.
Oh man, I'll send you one because this one, the Shimmy Shimmy Ya kids version,
I like. They
by
got a kids version.
the L Michaels Affair.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. My kids love it.
I thought you
Because,
liked. I thought Kids Bops did a version. You know how they'll do versions of songs sometimes.
No, it's not a Kids Bop version, but the Kids Bop version of Uptown Funk goes so hard. I love that version.
What do they say at the end because they it was too close to fuck you up? They Uptown.
They still say that.
They do.
They still say
Uptown
regular.
funk you up.
Yeah, they still say that.
Huh.
They don't say fuck you up, but they still
Well, I
say
know they
fuck you
don't.
up. I'm
But
sure
yeah,
you can find it on YouTube, but it's I think they still say it the same if I'm not mistaken.
they have a Kids Bop version called "Trust No Witch."
And then I see some bald headed goals. I was playing soccer one day.
It's just the way Trust No B goes, where he's like he's just naming off women at the end, and he goes, and Stacy's a disgusting ass. Like, man, disgusting. What'd she do? He has contempt in his mouth when he says it too. I tried to tell my wife the other day. I'm like, I'm sorry that some of these women songs are degrading to women, but some of them are really good. She's like, all right, stop talking.
I mean, I just kind of feel like it's just some stuff like that I like. I just don't share with my partner. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, if I don't know, maybe it's like some cereals and stuff too. It's just like what, this is for me, that's for you. You like that, I don't like it. You don't like it, I do. That's cool. That's just our opinion.
did you say that your ladies does not like Action Bronson? Finds him disrespectful.
Oh yeah. She do not like Action Bronson, but at the same time, like she's a few years younger than me. She listened to a lot of stuff. I'm like, really? You trying to say Action Bronson is bad? She liked the baby, and he is good for some good disrespectful lines.
I don't know. Action does talk a lot about like I put some. I was listening to some of his songs, and it's like, man, how many songs are you going to talk about putting your hand up someone's asshole?
Yeah. Man,
Is that a Flushing Queens thing? Yeah, we put hands up women's assholes in Flushing Queens.
Man.
Well, he does. He says it a lot. Go listen to a couple of his songs, and it's like you're bound to come across a song about a hand up some woman's asshole.
Well, that's just I mean, obviously, people do like doing that stuff because I don't came across some stuff.
I've seen some things, man. Well, that's my boring life. I'm hoping it'll get more exciting eventually. Now I have some shit to talk about.
I hope that your life never gets excited enough to be where you have to talk about putting your hand to somebody, Gabe.
Like a Muppet baby.
Like a hand in the ass like a muppet baby. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, in the new Muppet Babies, do they show Nanny?
They call her Miss Nanny for some reason.
Yeah, they do call her Miss
Some
Nanny.
put some respect on her name, I guess. They don't show her, but they yeah, they call her Miss Nanny. I don't know why. I don't think they live with her like they did in the old Muppet Babies.
Yeah, they were all orphans, and somehow Skeeter and Scooter lost their eyes in a big wheel accident.
Oh shit. Well, there you go, people. That's our standard decade fair for you. I hope you enjoyed it. But you
Better
know,
have.
we know how we roll, people. You know how we gets down. We head over to the mean streets of Reddit, where I personally pull a selection of topics to be enjoyed. I hope I've done right by y'all this week. I definitely got one I kind of want to fuck with, but I don't know. We'll see. Am I the asshole? Is the Reddit community that we pull these from? We was doing that shit before it was sweet, but it's all to the good. First up, am I the asshole for siding with my wife when she refused to let my son install the lock his mom gave him for his room?
Hmm.
Am I the asshole for not letting my wife parent my daughter?
That's probably a stepdaughter situation.
Am I the asshole for not letting my parents into my
I
son's
hope
life
not.
after they secretly tested his DNA? Had to clutch your pearls right quick. Am I the asshole for sending a student home for racist remarks?
No. Well, it depends on the racist remark, I guess.
Am I the asshole for complimenting a guy on a vegan dish he made? Am I the asshole?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission?
Yes.
Well, that's your kid too.
It depends on the you know what? Yeah, it depends on the format of straightening.
Well, that vegan one. The only reason it interests me is like how the hell can you think you'd be an asshole for that?
Vegan one's short, so that one you can have. The hair straightening one is the one I want to read the most, but then like I said, that shit is lengthy. So can't call it on that one.
Once your jowls get filled, you can stop. Like you know, you can read a little bit of it and then just go for the highlighted remarks.
It's all to the good. The door lock one holds my interest, but I'll just read you a little bit of that one. I married my current wife 6 years ago. She has a 14-year-old son, and I have a 6-year-old son from my previous marriage. We normally don't deal with a ton of issues as a blended family. My stepson is nice to everyone and likes to share, and it's his way of forming strong bonds. My son Scotty, however, is the complete opposite. So that's where that door lock shit goes from. So his ex-wife bought Scotty a lock, but I guess his new wife wouldn't let Scotty put the lock on his door.
And husband said, "Well, son, I'm siding with my wife on this one."
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, woof. All right, so let's knock this V one out first. Let's see. It seems like a good little road. Just a couple of sentences actually. Am I the asshole for complimenting a guy on the vegan dish he made? As I read that, how do you feel about this?
It's a compliment. I don't know. But I'm gonna say no. I'm like, how could you be an asshole for that?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I want to say no. Um, yeah, unless I don't know, unless he put his dick in it or something, man.
It's not vegan anymore. Then
It's not vegan anymore.
they're meeting it.
Box, do you have any opinion on this matter, sir? Is this person an asshole or no?
To me, it just sounds like someone who was taken aback by something they didn't think would be good. And yeah, I don't see how this could be an asshole thing, but
I, 20 female, am vegan and went to a friend's backyard barbecue. I wasn't expecting to eat food there since my friend's family only likes meat, but there was a tasty fruit salad I loved. My friend's brother, 21 female. I don't know if they meant to throw that up there like that, or they did. Not, and I'm not judging. That seems weird to say somebody's a brother, and then say female. But I don't know words. Was the one who made it, and I said thank you for cooking a tasty vegan dish, and I liked it. He said the dish is not vegan, and it just doesn't have meat or dairy in it. I said that's what vegan food is. He was getting increasingly angry and finally said, I didn't make any fucking vegan food. And if you ever come back, know that there won't be any fucking salad for you to eat next time. Don't ever come to my home calling me a vegan.
Bitch.
It was meant as a compliment, not an insult. Am I the asshole?
She knows she's not the asshole. She just wants to put this guy out there.
This sounds like an episode of The Office.
When you say that though, when my man was like, it's not vegan. It could have stopped there. You feel me? Then when you keep pushing the ball, like, nah, man, let me tell you something. You may not know it's not vegan because that's how basically how that shit kind of come off to me. Like she's unintentionally calling dudes stupid.
Yeah, but she was. I kind of would have reacted the same way. I'm like, yeah, that's what vegan is, buddy. No meat, no dairy.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, but as you hear from the story, clearly he was already uncomfortable with the idea. He clearly took that shit like almost like she called him gay, and was and he seems to be from a family that's like wouldn't take that cool.
It's just but I mean, I understand sort of where she's coming from. I never really thought of a fruit salad as vegan, but at the same time, like,
also, who approached somebody say thanks for making a vegan dish? It was fruit salad. Thanks for making a fruit salad is how we say that, right?
That's true. That was weird to say. Thanks for making that vegan dish. But that's a weird reaction too. Like, fuck you. I'm no vegan.
Don't ever get it twisted. That is weird, but it's also everything about that shit is weird.
I was once told by a person who didn't eat because at first I was always taken aback by like things that say gluten free on it. Mm-hmm. That was of course gluten free, but I was taken aback by somebody who was like who had celiac disease, where he was like, well, you would be surprised that the times they put wheat stuff in when it's not supposed to be in there. So I'm glad to see it when it is there. So, somebody who was trying to look out for a vegan, even though like shit, at once, old boy was like, yeah, being weird. This nigga's weird, obviously.
It's like at that point I'm like, don't push this any further. You came up at a spot you didn't think you was gonna come up at.
Yeah, just be happy that you got something.
I mean, I don't want to be that nigga. Just be happy because
but that's been our life. I mean, especially when you go to the places, that's been our lives for so many years. Like, I can only eat side dishes when I go to places. It seems like it's like I'm gonna eat some mashed potatoes. I know I can't eat like soups and stuff like that because it might be some pork in it. It's always some weirdness to it where you got to stick to the sides when you have dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
Even if they're self-inflicted.
There's a lot of swine out there.
Let's get down to the details here. Not the asshole. Dude needs to get a reality check if he thinks someone thanking him for making something vegan deserves such an exaggerated reaction at 21 years old. Let's see. Whatever. Reality check and dictionary, although it makes little sense to me why OP would say thanks for the vegan dish instead of thanks for the fruit salad. Like, she knows it's vegan, but what need was there to draw special attention to it? Same thing I just said. I mean, it sounded like OP was just grateful there was something they could eat. Same thing I just said. And wanted to show how grateful they were. From their reaction, it sounds like that guy really doesn't care about being a good host to his guests. Agree. Yeah, this isn't that uncommon. If you're vegan, you kind of assume that there probably won't be anything you can eat, so you really appreciate it when there is. especially when it also tastes good. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I see anybody. Oh, how interesting. Anthony sea legs popped up in the discussion, so that you had just been talking about.
So we've been on. We're on the cutting edge here. These you folks don't realize it.
I don't see anything that makes. I see no one who actually disagrees and said this person is an asshole. So I guess that person's not an asshole. But yeah. It was
Everybody
short.
sucks.
That shit was short for a reason. It was whack.
Like I said, it was an episode of The Office.
All right, am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission? Is this person an asshole?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Fair enough. For the record, Reddit says, yes, he's an asshole. Am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission? I, male, 32, have a 4-year-old daughter. Let's call her Gracie.
Ooh.
Gracie is half black. Her mother, female, 31, being African American.
Oh.
Her mother overall handled all of Gracie's hair care and taught me how to do simple styles, but even those simple styles were difficult. My wife ended up going on vacation with her friends to celebrate her friend's birthday, and my mother came to visit. I hadn't done Gracie's hair in a few days. Motherfucker, you was the asshole right there. If this was a what if, that's where it happened, right there.
He was an asshole way before that.
Well, assuredly. But mother come to visit. I hadn't done Gracie's hair in a few days, so it became nappy and unmanageable. I don't know if I appreciate a white man saying nappy. When I tried to comb her hair, the comb broke. My mother said that I should get my daughter a perm so her hair would be more manageable.
Oh, boy.
So I took her to a salon and got it permed. My wife got home, and when she saw our daughter, she was livid. She screamed at me and then at my mother for even suggesting that. But I think she's overreacting because it's just hair.
Oh, boy.
Then she brought up our wedding. My mother had tried to get my wife to straighten her hair for the wedding, but my wife refused because she wanted her natural hair on her wedding day so she could be as natural as possible. My mother often comments on my wife and daughter's hair, and I agree with my mother.
Oh.
But now my wife's telling me that perms chemically burn and damage hair to change the texture and that I damaged our daughter's hair. Now she's thinking of getting our daughter's hair cut so her hair can heal from the damages. But I still think she's overreacting. Besides, I don't want my daughter's hair to be cut. She looks so cute now.
Oh, gosh.
Am I the asshole?
So many red flags on this.
Am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission? Even though Gracie is my daughter too?
This one is
from Tia Tamara's husband?
I don't know. This one is so bad I think it's fake.
Let's go through some edits. Edit. I read the comments and came to the realization about my marriage and my wife, and now I just feel horrible. My wife mentioned in passing about her childhood and was always vague about it. But after overhearing a conversation between her and my mother-in-law, I just realized how I truly messed up. My wife is dark-skinned and tall, and she got bullied for that all along with her hair. She went to a predominantly white school in Bogalusa, and that let's look up Bogalusa just a minute.
Bogalusa, yeah,
it sounds southern. I think it's Mississippi.
Bogalusa's a city in Louisiana.
Okay.
So, and that made her hate herself and her looks for a while. My God, my wording was horrible too. My wife is beautiful, and so is my daughter, and their hair isn't a problem. I'm the problem, and so is my mother. After hearing my wife's conversation about me and my mother, I realized that my mother's a bully, and I'm just a drone follower. My mom constantly picked on my wife, and I just stood by and blindly agreed because she's my mom. But that woman who I married is my wife, and I should have protected her from my own ignorance and my mother's ignorance. I took something she took pride in and belittled it. I was too lazy to learn and took my mother's advice. Hell, my mother said so many cruel things that I didn't think twice of until reading these comments. She'd always make sure my daughter didn't play outside when she'd go over her house because she didn't want her to be darker like her mother.
Oh,
And that
right.
comment made me uncomfortable, but I took it as a weird joke. I'm cutting my mother off. And I'm going to apologize to my wife and daughter and start watching their hair tutorials again. I'm also going to sign up for hair braiding classes when the pandemic has slowed down. Once more. God, I'm a horrible husband and father. When my wife is willing to talk, I won't force her. I'll apologize. And if she wants to leave me over this, it'll hurt like hell, but I'll understand. I've just pushed her to the sidelines for so long and couldn't even see it. I am the asshole. The biggest asshole here. Jesus Christ. There are multiple edits there afterwards, but
It doesn't need to be like
this man had an awakening by these comments.
Yeah, he learned.
First comment: your daughter is half black. You married a black person, and you used the word nappy and unmanageable. Told you I didn't like it. Besides that, you sound like you haven't even learned to care for your daughter's hair, nor tried to learn how to care for curly, coily hair. Not to mention, it sounds like you haven't learned to respect your wife's boundaries. You're the asshole. Go watch a couple of videos on curly hair and stop listening to your mom. And then they gave Ed and said, thanks for the awards. I hope the OP learns to care more for his curly haired family.
So, for my own edification here, nappy is on the list of banned words now?
being on the band.
It's got a fucked up connotation to it. It's rarely used for anybody but black people. I mean, I guess some white people might call their shit nappy, but I don't ever think I've ever heard that. So it's just we kind of don't fuck with that one no more, man.
I mean, like part of like what why it's not cool to use, because most of the time people who use that don't know what they're talking about.
This is my man Hotwood Shady. He says, "You're the asshole. You lost me a nappy hair. What an asshole! And your wife was right. All you did was damage your daughter's hair." Okay, I'm trying to see if I can find somebody who sides with this man. You know, how we do that. Yeah. This person says exactly. Describing a black person's hair as nappy. You are not even black. Is one of the biggest microaggressions that I can think of. Might even be a macroaggression, to be honest. Especially since it was a go-to insult of racists back in the day. I think that answers your question there, Daniel. Let's keep scrolling.
Trying to find an ally of him.
I'm not looking to like say it. I was just.
Oh no!
No, not you. He's asking me if I'm looking. Bro. I'm just trying to see I'm trying to see if I can find anybody who signed off with this dude's.
Yeah, I was only asking the question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no N words. Come on.
Also,
I don't even say nougat.
Also, it is way doper to ask than just assume. So never, ever be ashamed or bothered by the fact that you asked the question, because that way you have learned. You be like, turns out that word kind of fucked up. And we keep it moving. That is always going to be okay.
I remember that Naughty by Nature had a shirt that said "Happy to be happy."
This one comment has 679 replies to it.
Oh no.
Let's take a look at this comment and we'll wrap this one up. As a black woman who has been surrounded by countless of black women all my life, what you did was absolutely awful, and you're the asshole 10,000%. I don't even know where to begin, but let me try, because I have the time tonight.
Oh.
First of all, to understand the extremity of what you did is to understand what our hair means to us as black women and how deeply it is tied to our identity. I can't explain in a Reddit post but our relationship with our hair is deeply ingrained in our experience as black women, and especially tied to our experience in Western civilization. The autonomy over our hair symbolizes our blackness and is resistance to hundreds of years of ridicule over our hair. Ridicule that you and your mother are clearly showing. Secondly, your wife is absolutely correct in how perms are damaging to our hair. Although perms were a common technique for decades, over the past year here, there has been a huge movement of black women refusing to perm their hair and instead embrace their natural curls. You can go on YouTube and find hundreds of thousands of videos of black women documenting their journey from permed hair to natural hair, because it's that significant. The term big chop was coined to explain when a black woman cuts off her chemically treated hair to grow out her natural hair because your wife is right. Once our hair is perm, the follicle is permanently damaged, changed, and it can't revert back to its natural state. The problem goes past you taking your daughter to the salon to get a perm. It's your attitude toward her hair, something that your wife shares in common with her daughter. When you feel the need to change the state of your daughter's hair, you are doing the complete opposite of affirming your wife's beauty and part of her identity that is tied to her hair. These are things that are pretty much no-brainers in the black community. If you decided to marry a black woman and then you decided to marry all of her, including her cultural identity, and that requires you to have some cultural competency and widen your mindset past your non-black male perspective. Do better and also hold your mother accountable before your daughter grows up hating something that is inherently a part of her.
Mhm.
And not to mention, 4 years old is too young to get a perm. Like that. That's the bare thing to begin with. Like a little girl getting, her scalp burned at 4 years old is unacceptable just to begin with.
A little something that again we kind of skipped over. I didn't read all the edits. But his mother basically started threatening to take that child from them because of this. So
What?
yeah, this one took turns and directions and so forth. And
Her mother's a fucking racist.
I think what his mother is what she would disguise it as is well-meaning. But
That's
yeah.
well-meaning racist though.
Yeah, my mother is well livid. She freaked out on me and threatened to call CPS when I told her I didn't want her coming around my wife and daughter, and refused to even try to understand what we did, and try to understand what we did wrong. Then I mentioned the damage the perm could cause to my daughter. I read a small article by a black-owned hair care company about childhood perm horror stories, along with the history behind perms, and I'm just disgusted with myself and my mother. My mother says my wife was being a drama queen. When I told her my daughter might need a haircut behind this, she flipped out and said, "I won't let my granddaughter look like a bull dyke."
Oh, this mother's horrible.
And I was mortified.
Is it
She
good
said-
that I don't know what the fuck that means?
It is good.
Yeah, it is good that you don't know what that means.
She said she said she'd take my daughter from me and my wife and raise her the way God intended. That caused a screaming match. My wife put her hand on my shoulder in the midst of this, took the phone from home, and told my mother if she comes to our home again, the police will be called, and she hung up. I put our baby to bed, and then we talk. My daughter and wife are beautiful, and I don't understand how for the life of me I thought those horrible things. Maybe it was like that SNL sketch, Diet Racism. Hearing those things from your parent and just blindly listening no matter how horrible it sounds. My wife is still mad at me, rightfully so. But she told me she isn't leaving me over this. She said I have a lot to learn, and if I want this relationship to last, I need to open my eyes and realize the world I live in is different from the one she lives in, and different from the world our daughter will live in. I'm horrified at myself and horrified at my mother. My father called a few moments ago, but I ignored the call. I'll talk to him in the morning about this. Thank you all for talking some sense into me, and I thank my wife for staying with me, even though she doesn't have to. Tomorrow we are asking our baby girl if she wants a haircut, knowing she'll want to get one like her uncle. Cool. I came across this on the Am the Asshole Twitter feed that we sometimes go to, and the person who runs that account was like, content warning, racism, homophobic slur, and was like, I wasn't going to post this, but so many people had asked them to post it, and they felt that the edits were an important part of the overall story. And I think I agree with that. The edits are important because you see somebody can learn, or at least recognize their faults and try to be better. That person was indeed an asshole, but they recognized it themselves, figured it out. I can't say nothing about it at that point.
I'm glad you learned from it. That mother though, she doesn't look like she's gonna learn shit.
She'll learn. She loves her grandbaby and will learn that.
Does she?
Yeah, I think she truly does. And that's the point. I think she will learn that loving her grandbaby means loving all of her grandbaby, and that which her grandbaby is, which is a little black girl.
Yeah, but that grandmother seems to have some what I would like to call compound racism.
Oh, surely.
Compound racisms.
Like
She
I said,
ain't gonna learn. It's gonna be too late.
in due time and in due course, she'll either figure it out or she won't see her grandbaby. It's real easy.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's how we gets down, people.
I can't believe she I don't want I can't even repeat what she said. Man.
Right. I don't want the baby getting darker.
That one fucks me up.
So forth. It's just like poor old dumb broad.
How did he? That comment would have set me off. I'm like, what? I'd be like, Mom, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Because
like,
he got he just got that 1,000-yard stare. He just tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? If you've been hearing racist shit your whole life, that shit was just conversation. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact that it's not overtly racist is the reason he was able to look past it.
That's the thing. So that's a good point you make. You know why people be so wild about I don't have a racist bone in my body? Because they think because they didn't call you a nigger with a hard R that they must not be racist, but they don't understand racism has layers and levels to it, and that like he said the SNL skit, that diet racism, that racism that people oftentimes miss that they're being racist on, you know?
It's this part. Have you guys ever seen the movie version of The Green Mile?
Yeah, I never read the book. I've seen the movie.
Well, forgive me. This might it might be the book version. It might be the movie version. But remember the part where they're talking about Tom Hanks' character goes to see the guy who wrote the report on John Coffey.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how a Negro was like a mongrel dog.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
So in the book, if I'm not mistaken, he talks about how Northern people think they're better than Southern people because, I'm Northern, I'm educated. But when it comes down to it, you are giving out a different type of racism that we give down here. Like when we're down here, we'll say the hard R, but we're upfront with it. You hide and you use different words and you use kinder words, but you're just as racist as we are. And that's kind of what that is. It's like you might not be using hard R's, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just a northern spin on it.
I don't know if my parents ever said something like, "I don't want to give your babies potatoes because like that Irish side of them, they'll be addicted, and next it'll be whiskey and shit." Like I'd have to check my parents. I should probably check myself for coming up with that hypothetical.
No, I mean you said other things that that was a joke. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's cool, Bree. we grow and change as people, and that's kind of what's that's I find that to be a very cool thing, that you can grow and change as people. But you know what the deal is? Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. I would tell you right now, don't worry about subscribing to the old YouTube channel. We can't access it anymore. So eventually I will get around to making a new YouTube channel for the show, and I will tell you to subscribe to it, and I'll give you control, I'll give you directions and so forth. It'll be there. I can't do nothing to it. I can't put anything on it.
The new show just went up on YouTube today.
Of course it does, because it's still locked into the account. So until I go in there and unlock it, it'll feed that to it. The result of me losing my phone means I lost access to the ability to authenticate the account, because that was built into the old phone, and the old phone no longer exists. I am grateful. A vast majority of my pictures did indeed upload to the cloud. So I got all these pictures from Toronto. And matter of fact, let me tell you something. I got pictures from the last basically 2 years. Toronto, Detroit, various retries we've done, so forth and so on. There was so much that was missing off that phone. I was so glad to see it had indeed uploaded to the cloud. Did I send y'all the all-you-can-eat caca picture?
I don't remember.
No.
I took this picture in Toronto just so y'all would see it, and I was super. This was the picture that I was most salty of having a loss. I just sent it via text message. You enjoy that picture? It's pretty funny to me. So got some behind the scenes shit going on with that regard. I've worked with Google for nearly a week straight now, and they just seem unwilling to bend on this. Every damn near every other company I've had to say, hey, can you turn off two-factor authentication? I lost my old device. They say, okay, I need you to prove that you are who you are. And I have done that, and they've been like, okay, it's turned off now. And it's been relatively breezy. The only problems I've had is my personal Instagram, which I guess I'm kind of okay to let go. I've been kind of trying to not fuck with Facebook anyway, and that's a Facebook company. And the show's Google shit as a whole. And so my apologies. I know that sucks, but don't worry. I think it'll be nice to make a new page and put the full court press on that bitch from the word go. You know what I'm saying? And see if we can make that really a nice place for people to follow and others to join in and follow afterwards. So don't follow the show's YouTube. You can't follow our Twitch page though. That's cool. Got some shit popping there. I got so many games I'm trying to get down with. I just bought Deathloop. It's PlayStation 5 and PC exclusive. PlayStation 5 console exclusive for time being, and a PC, and it's on the PC as well. And that shit looks so dope. So I might put that on the Twitch. That might be something I start up on Sunday. So like I said, keep a lookout on the Twitch page. We got it popping over yonder. If you are so inclined to help the show out financially and have a few bucks to toss our way, you can join our Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We have merch available over at tpublic.com/user/StageCountryMilk. And I feel like this is the first week in a long time TeePublic ain't sent me an email saying some shit was on sale. But who knows? You look up and there'll be something on sale, and that'll be fun. Feel free, give us a call, 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8POD. We'd certainly love to hear from you. If you care to do it old school, hit us up on the email, podcast@stagecrunchyandmilk.com. Not associated with Google at all. It's an email account that I pay for along with the website. So the website's domain, not necessarily the website. That's how we get down, and we have it available for a reason. That's Tatum 216.
Yes.
Yes! That's Lunchbox 2099.
Meow meow.
That's the real ODP.
That's right.
Damn straight, motherfucker. Bitches. Because he can't say it, I'll say it for him. You know what I'm saying? I'll say it in his stead. I am the Terror 713. You have just been podcast 2, and I know you loved it. Peace.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.